Well, 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 what have we here?
You know who it is.
That's right, folks.
It's KP's Video News, y'all.
You know who it is, y'all.
KP Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
KP Video News, y'all. That's right. I'm gonna cut that short. Anyway, I'm doing a little follow up here because yesterday I just did this case yesterday about the two black men that were attacked and assaulted by six white cops in Mississippi. Okay, the two former sheriff deputies were sentenced today for their roles in torturing two black men. Hunter Elwood received an approximately 20-year sentence from U.S. District Judge Tom Lee in Jackson, Mississippi Federal Court. Jeffrey Middleton, the leader of the so-called Goon Squad that abused men, was given 17.5 years, 17 and a half year prison sentence. And four other former law enforcement officers are also set to be sentenced this week by the same judge. They got two that are going to be sentenced tomorrow, and there's going to be two that are going to be sentenced the next day. But the one that I really want to see is the one that pulled the gun, the one that shot this man in his mouth. That's the one I want to see how much time they give him. But anyway, all six officers pled guilty in August 2023 to state charges. They submitted the two black men to numerous acts of racially motivated torture in January 2023. Before sentencing, Lee called Edwards' crimes egregious and despicable and said that the sentence at the top of the guideline range is justified, is more than justified, he continued. It's what the defendant deserves. It's what the community and the defendant's victim deserves. And the terror began January 24th, 2023, as a racist call for extrajudicial violence. A white person phoned Rankin County Deputy Brett McAlpin and complained that two black men were staying with a white woman at a house in Braxton, Mississippi. McAlpin told Deputy Christian Dedman, who texted a group of white deputies so willing to use excessive force that they called themselves the Goon Squad. Once inside, they handcuffed Michael Corey Jenkins and his friend Eddie Terrell Parker and poured milk, alcohol, and chocolate syrup all over their faces and forced them to strip naked and shower together to conceal the mess. They mocked the victims with racial slurs and shocked them with stun guns. Elwood admitted to shoving a gun into Jenkins' mouth and firing in a mock execution that went wrong. The officers then devised a cover-up that included planting drugs and a gun. False charges stood against Jenkins and Parker for months until one of the officers told the sheriff he had lied, leading to confessions from others. And both men who were sitting in the front row called for the stiffest sentence for the officers. Their attorneys, Malik Shabazz, said they were too traumatized to speak in court, and he read the statements on their behalf. I'm hurt, I'm broken, Jenkins wrote in the statement. They tried to take my manhood from me. They did something unimaginable things to me, and the effects will linger for the rest of my life. Elwood, who wore a dark blue jumpsuit with tape obscuring the name of the facility where he is housed, said before being sentenced that he would make excuses. He turned to Jenkins and Parker and looked at them directly. I don't want to get too personal. I see you every night, and I can't go back to and do what's right, Elwood said, and I'm sorry for what I did. His attorney, Joe Holloman, said Elwood had first witnessed Rankin County deputies turn a blind eye to misconduct in 2017. It became the new norm. It became institutional. Holloman said Hunter was initiated into the culture of corruption by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office. Elwood was also sentenced Tuesday for his role in an assault on another person that took place weeks before Jenkins and Parker were tortured. For the first time, Tuesday, prosecutors identified the victim as Alan Schmidt and read a statement from him detailing what happened to him on December 4th, 2022. During a traffic stop that night, Schmidt said Rankin County deputies accused him of possessing stolen property. They pulled him over from the car, beat him. Then Dedman forced him to his knees and tried. Wow, I'm not going to even read that. Wow. So with the humiliation and the evil physical assault that they endured, Smith wrote, "I know that I'm not their only victim, and I pray for each victim that has crossed the paths of this Goon Squad members. The officers charged with torturing Parker and Jenkins include Elwood, McAlpin, Dedman, Middleton, Daniel Opdyke of Rankin County Sheriff's Department, and Joshua Hartfield, a Richmond police officer. They have pled guilty to numerous federal and state charges. These defendants kicked the door in of the home where the two black men were residing, handcuffed them, and arrested them without probable cause, called them racial slurs, punched, kicked, tased, and assaulted them. Attorney General Merrick Garland said in a statement Tuesday evening, after one of the defendants fired his gun into the mouth of one of the victims, breaking his jaw, and the defendants gathered outside to come up with a cover story. The victim lay bleeding on the floor, and the Justice Department will hold accountable officers who violate constitutional rights and in so doing betray the public trust. On federal charges, all former officers are facing potentially decades-long prison sentences ranging from 5 to 30 years in state court. Time served for separate convictions on the state level will run concurrently with potentially longer federal sentences. The majority white Rankin County is just east of the state capital, Jackson, home to one of the highest percentages of black residents in any major U.S. city. Officers warned Jenkins and Parker to stay out of Rankin County and go back to Jackson or their side of the Pearl River, court documents stated, referencing the area with higher concentrations of black residents. In the gruesome crimes committed by the men tasked with enforcing the law, federal prosecutors saw echoes of Mississippi's dark history, including the 1964 killing of 3 civil rights workers after the deputy handed them off to the Klan. Months before, federal prosecutors announced charges in August 2023, an investigation linked some of the deputies to at least 4 violent encounters with black men since 2019 that left 2 dead and another with lasting injuries. For months, Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey, whose deputies committed the crime, said about the episode, after the officers pleaded guilty in August, Bailey said the officers had gone rogue and promised to change the department. Jenkins and Parker have called for his resignation, and they have also filed a $400 million civil lawsuit against the department. All right, good for them. I mean, hey, man, you got to do what you got to do, man, and go ahead on and, file that suit. File that lawsuit, and I hope you win. It makes no sense, absolutely, positively no sense, But so far as the Goon Squad, officers in Rankin County have been charged for vigilante style violence and incidents, including a home raid and separate attack on 28-year-old Schmidt, like I said, in 2022. Both cases made national headlines, and the FBI director, Christopher Wray, addressed the sentencing speech on Tuesday. And Mr. Wray stated that it's hard to imagine a more atrocious set of civil rights violations than those carried out by these guys, Wray said. But on the flip side, it's hard to imagine more important work than investigating those crimes and seeking justice for the victims. So, I mean, hey, man. Yep. Wow. Man, I'm telling you, man, there's some out crazy cops out there, man. And some of the stuff that they do is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's a whole different case. And you got a patrolman, wow. That in Mississippi, another patrolman in Mississippi that, wow, I'm telling you, man, these guys are out of control. And this particular one, he pled guilty to forcing a prisoner. Wow. Oh, man, this Mississippi, man, is off the charts, man. I have relatives there, and I really do despise that state with a passion. My father's from there, grandmother, my aunts, uncles from there. I really truly despise the state of Mississippi. There's no other way for me to say it, with the exception that I really truly dislike that state. And every time I set foot in that state, I felt
You know who it is.
weird. I felt weird.
It's
Anyway,
Video News, y'all.
KP's Video News, y'all. This is a quick one.
KP's Video News, y'all.
Quick one. Quick one.
KP's
Don't forget to hit that
Video News,
notification bell. Don't forget to
Video News, y'all.
sign up to KP's Video News. Subscribe to KP's Video News, y'all. You know who it is. KP's Video News.